Hi guys. So let's have a little chat. This week we are deciding to talk about elitism and hate in the subculture. I know Michelle did more of the old scene subculture, but I'm gonna do more on the goth side, because that's where I hang out. I'm just back from Philadelphia, and it's my first time seeing a scene that's not up here in Cleveland, and it was really interesting because it was really similar. Granted, the event that I went to was Drax Ball, and a lot of people just go for the show, which was immaculate, by the way. But so there are a lot of younger people there that are simply there to see the music, and a lot of older people that are there. They're like, oh, this is a goth event. I'm gonna do this thing. And I met Olivia there, or oh shit, what's her YouTube name? Anyway, I met my friend Olivia there, and we just talked a little bit about the scene, and she pointed out to me that in her scene a lot of elitism comes into a much bigger city. Cleveland's pretty small compared to Philly, like really small compared to Philly. And it was really interesting because up here in Cleveland, what seems to be going on is that all of the younger crowd have pushed out the older crowd, and I really enjoyed the older crowd, and then like all this stuff went on, and I'm over drama, so I don't deal with that crap. So a lot of what I've noticed is like physically in the scene, and then I see a lot of shit online, and yeah, shitty online goths who play the I'm gothier than thou bullshit, and that's not okay. It's not okay. I post a lot on my personal channel about how it's okay to do things that are outside of the scope of the subculture, how it's okay to not be stereotypical, it's okay to not wear black all the fucking time. Yeah. And maybe I fall more under the subgenre of alternative because of that, but I do spend a lot more time with goths and aesthetically identify as a goth, and I do just genuinely enjoy goth people. Goth boys, goth girls, goth in between genders. Really enjoy it. And I personally have this like issue with feeling like I belong in things. So to feel like I belong in a subculture based off the people is very rare. But I do have a lot more in common with the goth scene. Mayhaps it's more of the online scene that are my age, but I still identify more with it. Now, dealing with elitism, take it with a grain of salt. If someone's going to sit there and tell you that they are more of anything than you when it comes to like something you identify with, tell them to fuck off. That may sound kind of crude, but it gets ridiculous. there's so many things that I've seen pop up in the past 5 years that I'm just kind of like, are you fucking serious? The whole Hot Topic isn't goth. Okay, if you're gonna put isn't goth after something, fuck off. It may not be spookily inclined, but just because somebody does something or shops someplace that isn't goth by your standards doesn't mean that that person isn't goth. That's what I gotta say about elitism. Along with that, though, I think I need to touch upon the fact that when older generations of goth do that whole, like, oh, you have to be this way specifically to be a goth, you're pushing so many people out of the subculture, and there's nobody there to replace you when you're gone. So your subculture will die. Like, it's just like having kids. Your lineage will die. So it's very important for older goths in the scene to not discourage younger goths from getting into the scene by being twats. On the subject of haters, I got picked on so much in school, so I got really used to putting up a wall, and it's very easy for me to tune people out nowadays, in person. Now, that being said, a lot of the time somebody will, like, post something via the internet, because the internet is also filled with twats. But somebody will post something on the internet commenting on my aesthetic, because that's really as far as they get. And just being an ass. And a lot of the time I ignore it. I don't respond to comments online generally. But it does eat at me. So I'm not gonna tell you to just ignore every mean comment, because I know that it's not that easy. It's something that I learned to deal with from years of, like, just dealing with the slow build-up of turning into me, and also getting pretty much ridiculed the entire process. So I've learned to deal with that. Yeah. And okay, so we moved because I heard a noise and it was scary. And it turns out it was just my noise reverberating in the microphone. How do you guys like the new microphone? Because now I don't have shitty audio. So I'm just kind of getting used to that. Anyway, subject of haters. I'm not gonna tell you to just, like, completely ignore it, because it's not that simple. I know that. Be okay with yourself, and remember that it's okay to feel negative sometimes, but don't allow people who don't matter, whose opinions mean nothing in your day-to-day life, to dictate how you feel in your day-to-day life. That's the biggest advice that I can give on that subject, is just, like, do what makes you happy, and, yeah, if it's not somebody who is incredibly important in your life, don't, yeah. Like I said, if it's just random people on the internet, I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. That being said, I have been in numerous situations where people who are important to my life have been not very kind about my aesthetic, or like generally the music that I listen to, so on and so forth, parental units or otherwise. And I'd like to just take a moment here and remind everyone that you don't have to be LGBT. There needs to be a Q at the end of that. Anyway, you don't have to be LGBT to choose your own family. You can choose your own family, and yes, it's a lot harder when you're young to do that, but once you've like maintained a certain level of independence, you can choose who you decide to continue having them in your life. I've pretty much chosen mine. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to cut ties that are detrimental to you. It is totally okay to say to yourself and to that other person that's being volatile to your own emotional health, hey, look, we can't be this anymore because I'm sick of you hurting my feelings. That's okay. Like, that's incredibly okay. And sometimes you need to do that. And maybe you may not need to completely cut that person off, but maybe like, hey, we need to break from each other because you are getting on my last nerve, and like, I can't handle all of your negativity anymore. That's okay. Like, it is incredibly okay to kick people out of your life who aren't enriching it. Yeah. So, thanks for having a set down with me in my bathroom. We were in my bathtub, and now we're in front of my bathroom door. Can you tell I live in a hip fixer-upper house? But yeah, this video was supposed to be a lot more serious, so I wanted to like not have to do my face and deal with all that shit. I wanted to be real with y'all. So go ahead and stay tuned for the rest of the girls. Make sure you subscribe so you can see everybody. I'm your Wednesday. I will see you next Wednesday. If you enjoyed our little sit down talk, give us a like down in the awkwardly placed bar area, and description will contain links that are needed. So yeah. So yeah, definitely do all of those things. I had a thought on what I was gonna say, and then I didn't say it properly. Yeah. I do really hope to get some feedback from you guys. I love hearing from you. And, yeah. Have you experienced any kind of elitism, and how did you deal with it? Or what have you found to be the best ways to deal with haters? I look forward to seeing you guys' comments. Stay spooky.